Good morning. Here I am again. I got my first request. I'm so excited. How I've told you to ask about something if you have something you want me to speak on. And so one of my friends asked me to speak on fear and addiction. Now, fear, I've already done one on, and I will be releasing it probably within the week. But I want to do one on addiction. The first thing I want to say is our flesh is weak, but God says our spirit is strong. But when we allow the flesh to reign and to take charge of our life, it will always, always go to the lowest denominator. It will eat the whole pie at one time. It will eat you into social oblivion. You'll be so heavy. It will allow you to drink until you are sloppy drunk. It will encourage you to do drugs because they feel good. The flesh does not have any reasoning power. And so you say, well, you say all that, but yeah, what about my kids that are on drugs? And this is true. This is a grievous thing right now that's happening in our country. Addictions are huge. And the only cure, once, you know, we choose to do what we want to do. First of all, it's our choice. God says, I lay before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Choose life. When you choose something that is out of God's norm or out of what God provided for us, you are choosing death. Really. I mean, and sometimes you get by with it for a while, like you can dabble a little bit and you're okay. But you dabble one too many times and you're hooked. And unfortunately, when this thing that says just say no, these kids don't have sense enough to say no. We know how to say no because we're grown up. But kids do not have sense enough to say no. So many of us have children that are hooked on drugs. And I'm not going to say to you, I have the answer to that, because I really don't. But God has an answer for absolutely everything in the Bible, including this. When you choose something too many times, you lose the right to choose, and it chooses you. And I think every one of us would have to say that in one way or another we're addicted to something. I mean, I have an issue with food for sure. I love to eat. And if I let my flesh reign, it would eat the whole pie at one time. It would eat the whole pot of spaghetti at one time if I let it. The whole turkey. I mean, that's just the way the flesh operates. So all of us have some sort of an addiction. But when you see, that's my dog coughing. She has little allergies. And with this morning thing, you're going to have to get used to my pets because they're part of the deal. And so are the gardeners part of the deal. You may hear the gardeners out there mowing the grass, but you know what? It's beautiful out there, and the gardeners have to do that. I've only got a few minutes. I'm always going over my 2 minutes here, but this is hard to stay within 2 minutes. The only thing I can say to you is this. If it's your children, use a scripture that God gave us. God says, I love this one. I called this out over my kids over and over and over as they were growing up. It's in Isaiah 54, and it says, all of my children are taught of the Lord, and great shall be their peace. Now that's a promise from God given to you if you are a Christian. This is the heritage of those that serve God. If you're trying to serve God, then that's your heritage. Your children will be taught of God. Now, if your children are taught of God, they're not going to do these kinds of things. And if they do, he's going to put a hook in their jaw, he says, and bring them back. You pray that God put that hook in their jaw, call it out. He says, bring me in remembrance of my word. And every day you learn that scripture. All of my children are taught of the Lord, and great shall be their peace. Prayer, guys, when it comes to addictions, prayer is the only thing that will work. And AA is wonderful. I love AA. They do help. There's no doubt about it. If you can get them to one of those kinds of things, they help. But God is the answer for all of it. Start calling out the promises to God. All of your children are taught of the Lord, and great shall be their peace. And then, once you've done all you know to do, stand and believe God for the rest. I have to go. I went 4 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm a real yapper. All right, you guys, until tomorrow, blessings on your day.